All right, man. Top of it, man. What's going on today, man? It's Prince PL coming in with you with a vertical stream, America's game show. You know what we're here to talk about today? My beloved Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Hope some people come in, man. We're gonna chop it up, and we're gonna talk about Gotti. Yeah, oh Gotti. Yeah, Gotti. Oh, Gotti, man. What's up? Mm-mm-mm. Man. 2026 NFL training camps is opened up for business. All 32 teams are practicing, getting ready for the 2026 NFL regular season that will start next month. Try a little over than 31 days away to the start of the NFL season. And the Dallas Cowboys are in the news for the right things for once, for nothing but ball. You know, we talking ball today, talking at National Football League. You know, everybody didn't want to know, is the Rams gonna get it done? Will the Seahawks repeat? Will the New England Patriots' new toy, which is AJ Brown, reap? Will they reap the benefits of AJ Brown? Will the Kansas City Chiefs will return to prominence? Will the Cincinnati Bengals keep Joe Burrow upright? And will the Buffalo Bills finally get it done? What the Baltimore Ravens gonna look like this year? Yeah, that's the National Football League. But today we want to talk about what the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott, the quarterback of the infamous Dallas Cowboys, America's team. They have put a moniker on their offense called Gotti, the greatest offense there is. I said, what? What the hell going on in Dallas? Mm-mm. I said, the greatest offense there is. And I had to grab my iPad and say, hold up right quick. I said, hold up. And I asked, Siri, who scored the most points on offense in the NFL? And it told me that it was the 2013 Denver Broncos. And they scored 606 points in a 16 game schedule. That is 37.8 points per game. Then in the all time single season scoring offenses, there's the 2007 New England Patriots with 589, the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs with 565, the 2024 Detroit Lions 564, and the 2011 Green Bay Packers, 560. Them are the top 5 scoring offenses in the National Football League. Now, when I think of greatest, I think of points scored. I don't care about yards. I think about points scored because if you score a lot of points, the yards will add up. You will be the number 1 offense in the league. So that's the first thing I said. I said, damn, you got to score 606. But when you look at all these teams, the Denver Broncos did not win a Super Bowl. The New England Patriots did not win the Super Bowl. The 2018 Kansas City Chiefs didn't win a Super Bowl neither. They didn't win Super Bowl in 19, right? If I'm not mistaken. Now I could look them up and see when the Kansas City Chiefs won their first Super Bowl. We know that the 2024 Detroit Lions didn't win a Super Bowl. And the 2011 Green Bay Packers didn't win a Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers won in 2010. So, out of all these teams that had scored the most points in the NFL, they did not win a Super Bowl, except one. So I could go back to the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs to find out did they win. What year did the Kansas City Chiefs win their first Super Bowl? Okay, not their first Super Bowl. What year did the Kansas City Chiefs win their first Super Bowl under Patrick Mahomes? 2019, so I was right. So out of all those top scoring offenses in the NFL, all-time single season scoring offenses, none of them won a Super Bowl that year. The year that they broke, the year where they had the highest. So when you look at it, you would say, before then, we don't know who was the first, but out of them, when you look at it, the Patriots scored the most at their time, and then 6 years later, they scored the most. So we see historically, they did not hold up the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Now you can say, well, Peyton had a Super Bowl. That ain't my point, people. Those years that they had the most points scored, they did not hold up the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Because we already know what the monarchy is, right? So, the Dallas Cowboys want to make history. Dak Prescott want to be in the history book. He want to be the first number 1 scoring offense in NFL history in regular season. All-time regular season scoring leader as a team. In a season, he wanted him to be the 2026 Dallas Cowboys. That's when he talked about he wanted to be the greatest offense there is. That's what we're talking about. Because none of those teams that I just mentioned, 2013 Broncos, 27 Patriots, the 2007 Patriots, the 2018 Chiefs, the 24 Lions, and the 2011 Green Bay Packers did not win a Super Bowl in the year where they scored over 560 points as an offense. But we can look up one, and then we just ask Siri again. Give me the team that scored the most points in the regular season and won a Super Bowl. Well, they didn't give it to me. I said, who scored in the regular season and won a Super Bowl? Well, you didn't give me that answer. Hmm. They just giving me the team that scored the most. So, give me the greatest offense to win a Super Bowl. Say the greatest offense to win a Super Bowl, by their opinion, would be the greatest show on turf. So they had to score over 500 points. Because they averaged 32.9 points a game. So they averaged 32.9 points a game. 526 points. That's the greatest offense to win a Super Bowl was the 1999 St. Louis Rams, better known as the greatest show on turf. That was their moniker. So they want to be, so that's what they want to be. They want to be better than the greatest show on turf because that's the greatest offense to win a Super Bowl. That's right. The greatest offense to win a Super Bowl is the greatest show on turf. Okay? So that's what they want to be. Okay? But no, I don't look at it that way. I look at it this way. To be known as the greatest offense there is, you have to beat the all-time regular season scoring record of the 2013 Broncos with the combination of the 99 St. Louis Rams winning the Vince Lombardi. That right there will make you the greatest offense there is. That is the criteria that I got for them. And that should be, and I know that's the criteria that they are. Because if you guarantee to have the greatest their offense, their individual awards, so you will probably, so we have to look at it individually. So how many touchdowns do the Dallas Cowboys have to score to get there? Well, let's just go by what they did last year. They scored 51 touchdowns last year as an offense. So they scored 357 points. Plus, they had 36 field goals. So, that's 465. 465 points. They were 61 points away from the greatest show on turf's mark of 526. On top of that, after 465 points they had got, say it was 61 points short of the moniker that the greatest show on turf did. And they're 141 points away from the 2013 Denver Broncos mark of what? Now, what I looked at was the Dallas Cowboys had 65 red zone attempts. But they kicked 17 field goals in the red zone and had 11 turnover and downs / turnovers. Combined turnovers and turnover on downs, you know what I'm saying, combined was 11 possessions where they didn't score a point. They didn't get a field goal. They didn't score a touchdown. So you do that, they only scored 37 touchdowns in the red zone. So what I said, what happened if they had 65 attempts like they had, and let's just say they cut everything in half, the negative plays, right? So they get 9 more touchdowns from the 17. So that would be 9 And also, out of the 11 possessions they didn't score a touchdown, let's just say, well, they didn't get anything. Let's just say, for touchdown purposes, they got 9. They got 5 more. That's 51 touchdowns. They scored a total of 51 that year. So that's 14 points. So that's 14 touchdowns. More they would have. That's 65 touchdowns times 7. That's 455 points. Okay? Now they had 36 field goals. So 36 field goals. So you take 36 field goals as a minus. That's 25 field goals plus. So, which is 3, which is 75 points. That right there would put them right there just by their red zone efficiency only, based off the 65 red zone attempts. If they cut the field goals in half to 9 more touchdowns, and the 11 possessions they did not score a touchdown in the red zone, you cut that in half, which would be 5. That right there, which all touchdowns, will put them at 530 points. So right there, they above the greatest show on turf. They're right there. Because they would, if they win a Super Bowl, then they'll be better than the greatest. They would be the greatest offense to ever win a Super Bowl. So technically, they would be the greatest offense there is. Okay? So, you see what I'm talking about? That's just by improving their red zone efficiency. Improving their red zone efficiency will put them at the greatest show on turf level. Okay? Because they went from 51 that they scored last year total. They actually, if they increase their offense by what I just added up from 37, 9, boom, they put them right at 51 in the red zone efficiency. So you put 65 red zone attempts divided by 51 touchdowns. Put them at every time they're going in there, it's going to touchdown. So the percentage would be damn near 80%. They have them at 80% touchdown. The touchdown, red zone touchdown efficiency. 80%. They get there, let's go 80% touchdown. I think Dallas got down there, they were a little above 50%. Because you go with 65 red zone attempts, you only score 37 touchdowns. It's only 50%. So they have to be at 80% red zone efficiency. Now, to be the greatest offense there is, based off the criteria of having the number one all-time scoring offense in the regular season, which is 606. They would have to score to get there. They would have to score 78 touchdowns. That would put him at 546 plus 25 field goals, which is 75 points. Put him right there. And that would put them at 36 points a game. So they would have to average 36 points a game. 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals. That's what they would have to do. That's what they would have to do to get the mark. The question, do they have the talent to do it? Do they have the offensive coordinator to do it? Do you believe Brian Schottenheimer can call the plays? Now let's look at what they did last year, right? They had 36 times 3, 108.
There's your paperwork, sir. That's your paperwork. Sir, that's your paperwork.
Okay, I got to sign?
That's your paper. You can sign or not. I just need a signature right here and a print right here, please.
Oh, okay. I thought I had to sign now. All right.
And you are good to go.
All right. Thank you. So as I get ready to shut this down, all I'm telling you is that's what they have to do to live up to what they want to be. This is not my shit. This is Dak Prescott's idea, what he want his team to be. So by them just increasing their red zone efficiency last year, from scoring 37 touchdowns to actually scoring 51, because they cut the field goals in half, they cut the negative red zone plays in half, which that means is how to do that is eliminating penalties. That's the number one thing they have to do. They have to be a very disciplined offense. By them just doing that alone, being a disciplined offense, by them just being disciplined in the red zone, then they also adding the package to their shit called they're gonna basically run the heavy jumbo down there, more of a 3 tight end set to help them be more efficient in the red zone. Run the ball hell of a lot better than they ran last year. So they're gonna have to have the run game is gonna have to average almost in a season. They got to get almost 18 or 19, 1,800 yards rushing. That's the first thing they got to do. They got to get almost 100 from the running backs. So they can get 100 yards from the running backs alone, which would be like 120, pretty much a 2,000 yard running offense, 2,300 yards, 2,200. That's the only way they're gonna be because they got to be because they have to go 7, 8 touchdowns. That means they're gonna have to get 34 touchdowns from their running game, and they're gonna have to get 44 touchdowns from their passing game. That's how they're gonna have to do it. You got to be a balanced offense. You know, this ain't the thing. Say they can do it. This is the only way they can do it. Nobody believes they can. They believe Dallas got a good offense, but nobody believes they have a great offense. Dallas got 2 great wide receivers. They got a good offensive line, but nobody believes Dallas have a great offensive line. Nobody believes they have a great quarterback. But but Cowboy fans, nobody in the league thinks Dak is the greatest quarterback in the league. Nobody believes that. They say he throw too many interceptions. Think he what he do with 10 last year? Do 10, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So he got to take them 37 touchdowns. He got to take 37 touchdowns. He got to cut the interceptions in half to 5. And at them 5 the touchdowns, that just put him at 42. So you need 36 rushing touchdowns. Or they blowing teams out. Can the backup quarterback come in and get the other 6 touchdowns? Then he'd be all right. Then they have, well, other 4 touchdowns, my bad. Other 2 more touchdowns or 6 touchdowns. So Dak gonna have to throw between 44 to 48 touchdowns, and the running game has got to get 30 touchdowns. Or Dak throws 50 touchdowns, and the running game gets you 28. That's what has to happen. This is what they have to do to be known as the greatest offense there is, that they said last week. This ain't no made up shit. This I go by what we're on America's Game Show. We do not put up content. This ain't me. I'm reacting to what they're telling you and giving you the mathematical equations on how they can do it. Then you look at their schedule. So let's break it down how realistically they have to do this. They got 17 games. It's going to be 3 games in that season. They're going to score 27 to 25 points. So say they score. So that's 75 points they just scored. They got to have 14 games where they average 40 points a game. 40 points. So you look at it holistically, 10 games, they got to at least get over 40 points in those games to put them at 400. So now, the rest of the 7 games, they can get 30. So you add 5, 30. 60 out 2, 60 out 2. That right there's 120. So that puts them right at 520. Then they got another 3 games where they got to get 30, 30. At 60, put them at 180. Then the next 30 put them at 2. That would put him at 210. That right there puts him at 610. So they have to have rest of their games. They gonna have to 10 games. They got to score over 40 points. That means opening day the first 2 weeks against the Denver Broncos, not them Broncos, against the Giants and the Commanders. They have to score 40 in both of them games to even show that they have the they have the ability to even think they have the ability to get that record. Then after that, they have who? Baltimore and the Texans. That's where their 30s come in at. Throw 34. Score 36. That put them right there. They got to have 2 40s and 2 35s right there. That's 80. And that is 70. So they got 150 points in 4 weeks. And they got to get 610 to break the record. So they got 150 in 4 weeks. Now they got 13 games to get how many? Mm-hmm. 4, 10. So that's how I had to work. That's the only way they're gonna be able to do it. So they got to come out all the Blazer glory up on top. First 4 weeks, they got to have 150 points the first 4 weeks. So if they go in there in the first week one and get 50, next week they get 45. So we'll put them at 95. Now they only need how many more to go? 140. Yeah, they're gonna need 105 more points in the next 2 weeks. Hmm. No, they're gonna need not that much. They're gonna need, you know, 85. No, 65 points. My bad. They need 65 points in the next 2 weeks. So they got to go out there and score some points. They got to come out with a blaze of glory. Now, how you can do this? Through the technicality of football. You got to be able to make this is what they had to do. They had to move C.D. Lamb and goddamn Pickens around. Flournoy is going to have to make a lot of plays. So we look at touchdowns. You're going to need one of those receivers to score 20 touchdowns. One of them have to score 20. The other one have to score 12. So CD or Pickens got to get, so they got to get 32 touchdowns at least out of CD Lamb and goddamn Pickens combined. You can get that by 18-18. You get them with 16-16, they get you 32. So that right there, that's how that you got to get 32 touchdowns with the combined efforts of CD Lamb and Pickens. So they get 16-16, that's 32. Right there. So how many? Because they got to score 7-8 touchdowns. So we're going to talk the passing game. So now you only need 12 more touchdowns to get to the 44. So now you got Flournoy. How many touchdowns he need to get? Probably 6. That put him at 38. Ferguson need to get 6. That put you at 44. If you get them 4 players to get you 44 touchdowns, now you're on your way because now you got Turpin. They could probably get you 3. Running backs can get you 2. So damn, that might gonna have to score damn near 40. He might go 50 touchdowns. But the main motherfuckers has got to get 30. The main 2 guys got to pretty much get 30. With 14 to go out of the next 3 players that play a lot of snaps, which is Flournoy and Ferguson. Then the running backs. They got to score some points. Then the running game has got to get at least get you 30 touchdowns. So that means you got to get 18 touchdowns out of Williams. Then you need to get 6 out of Davis. And you need 6 out of goddamn Blue. That puts you at 30. That's how it works. So that means the mental errors have got to be eliminated. The penalties got to be eliminated. So they have to be a very disciplined offense. So how they get into it with nigga got to run back to the huddle. Nigga push them or whatever. They might push back a little bit, nudge. Get off to there. When they do get big lanes, everybody need to be running up there, getting the guys off the guys and shit like that. Stop other teams from trying to do what? Instigate so they can get a 15-yard penalty on the Cowboys. So they got to eliminate penalties. So how many penalties Dallas have to have? Well, Dallas will be averaging 10. They got to get down to 4. They got to cut that down to 4. No more than 4 penalties a game because of questionable calls. So you might have 4 questionable calls. 2 holdings and a false start. That's all you can have. So now you most games you have is 7 to 8 possessions a game. Dallas have to score 5 touchdowns out of those 8. They got to score 4 touchdowns out of those 8 possessions and 2 field goals. They have to be pretty much have to score 6 out of their 7 possessions. Now, if they defense get turnovers, now they can get 10. Now, if they get 10, they're guaranteed to get to that moniker they want. Then if the defense do score, that actually goes to the offensive point total. So say if the defense scored 10 touchdowns, that's go to the offense because they go by points per game. That's go to the offense. Yeah, I know that, did you? It does. So it has to go to the offense or go to the defense. So now you will get now you score 7, 8. Now you have 88 touchdowns. Or you say they get 5 touchdowns on special team. Say they get 4 touchdowns. Say they get 5 touchdowns on special team. So now you need Darren Bland. Now you need Deron Bland to give you the 5. Now you need Darren Bland to bring that situation that he did in 23, where he gets 5 pick 6s. That helps the offense because those points go on to the offense. I mean, that's just the statistics of the National Football League. That ain't mine. To guarantee them to do what? Get the points. So they're gonna need it. So they're gonna need, you know what I'm saying, turnovers. So the defense is gonna have to get 25. They got to get 25 to 26, 25 to 26 turnovers this year. That's 25 extra possessions by the offense. Or they score, it goes because the instant goes to because when they get a turnover and they score, that money that goes to the offense. So if Dak does his 30, so if Dak does his 30, so special teams and them get 10 touchdowns on their own, and that cause Dak, well, he still get his 44. Now your running game ain't got to get number 20. Got to get number 20 or 24. Then you still get your 25 field goals, put your 75 points, and then you got it. That's how it has to be. Now the question, can they do it? Well, guess what? You tell me in the comments they can do it. Do I believe they can do it? That's on the Cowboys to prove and for me to watch. But the key to being the greatest offense there is, by the teams that I named, 13 Broncos, this '07 New England Patriots, the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs, the 2024 Detroit Lions, and the 2011 Green Bay Packers. On those seasons, they did not. They had the number 1 scoring offenses and the top 5 scoring offenses all time, but they did not win the Super Bowl. Out of the history of the NFL, the team that scored the most points in the regular season to hold up the Vince Lombardi is the 1999 St. Louis Rams, led by Kurt Warner, Isaac King, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and Marshall Faulk. 526 points is the team. So all Dallas has to do to be known as the greatest offense there is by statistical standards is actually do what they have done last year offensively. But out of their 65 red zone attempts, where they only scored 37 points, and they had 17 field goals and 11 possessions that did not result in any points. The 17 field goals they made, they need to cut that in half to only 9, which would be 8. Only 8 field goals made, 9 more touchdowns, puts them at 14.
5, and then 5 more points puts them at, well, 37 put them at 36. 5 more puts him at 51. Plus the 14 beyond the red zone that they scored puts him at 65. That right there, plus 25 field goals made, will put him at 530. So that put him above the greatest show on turf, but they have to win the Super Bowl. Okay? And that will put them as the greatest offense there is. But by my standards, they would have to beat the 2013 Denver Broncos that scored 606 points and win the Super Bowl. And that's how I would monitor them as the greatest show, the greatest offense there was, which they would be G.O.T.I. Got it, got him. Got it, got him, coach. Got to get it. Got to get it. Got to be efficient. Got to be disciplined. Got to be what got to be. And there's one more thing they have to do to really be the greatest offense there is. They have to average every season for the next 4 years 526 points a season for the next 4 years and have to win 3 Super Bowls for my standard to be the greatest offense there is. And when they're done, they'll be known as the greatest offense there was, or the greatest offense to ever play. My standard. You have to exceed it. You have to do it multiple times. So if you go get your 606 this year, the next year, you might get, so you have to average 530 every year for the next 4 years. That's impossible. But it is one thing you have to average. So if you score 630, come back and score 590, or just go 500, come back the next year, you score 560, come back the next year, you score 580, then you in 4 years, and your average would be over 530. Rich over 526 to be exact. Win 3 Super Bowls out them 4 seasons, then yes, you would be known as the greatest offense there is. Can they do it? Nobody in the history of the NFL has done it. Nobody has ever seen it. So that's kind of obvious, right? But you put it in the comments. Let me know. I always hit like, share, and subscribe to America's Game Show, where we talk about America's game, which is football. We talk about another America's game, it's the political game. And we also talk about another game and another genre game, which is entertainment and popular culture. Slash. That's what we do here, man. We're going to put the game down on you, let you know what it is, what it was, and when it can be. And will it be done? Because what America has always done, America's always got it done. America will always win. Because one thing about America, we are the greatest country there is. Or you can say we're the greatest oligarchy there is. Some of y'all would say we're the greatest oppressors there is. That's America's game, y'all. This is Prince Pierre coming at you. Do I believe that they can do it? It really doesn't matter. Because the bottom line, all the Cowboy fans want them to do is hold up that Vince Lombardi for the sixth time in the history in 26. That's what we want. We want that defense to be a top 5 defense. But if they can go out to be the greatest offense there is and hold up the Vince Lombardi trophy this year, they will be called the moniker by me. If they score over 606 points and hold up the Vince Lombardi in SoFi, then they will be that. Because they would have done something no other team in the National Football League has ever done but one team. To be the greatest offense, to score the most points in the regular season, to hold up the Vince Lombardi was Kurt Warner's 1999 St. Louis Rams. So if Dallas Cowboys score 531, hold up the Vince Lombardi, they live up to the moniker. But my standards, I'd be like, by statistical standards, yeah, but by my standards, beat the motherfucking 2013 Broncos and hold up the Vince Lombardi, then you goddamn, I'll always call them motherfucker the greatest offense there is. I will not retract from that. For the 26, I would say, yeah, they were the greatest offense there is. But if they can hold up 3 Vince Lombardis and score an average of 530 points a season for the next 4 years, and they win 3 Super Bowls, then I would straight up say that the Dallas Cowboys have the greatest offense of all time. They would be the GOATs of offense. They would be probably like the greatest offense we done seen, would be them. We done seen some great offenses. But how they have done this mess for 4 years, we ain't seen them done it for 1 year. They go back to scoring 480 and 500. Now you got to be over 530 every year for the next 4 years. This is Prince Pierre. This is America's Game Show. I'm out. How about them cows?